To go make $2,000 a month as an ISA. So it really was a risk for me. And I just knew I wanted to be in it. My brother's been a lender for 20 years now. So I've always been around it for a long time. And it was a risk that I was willing to take. But I did start as a team member, as an ISA for a Keller Williams team. So I actually never was with Keller Williams when I first started in real estate because I wasn't licensed or anything. So I worked there for 3 months, and in 3 months I said, I need to be an agent. So I went and I paid for all my licensing and said, I'm just going to do it. And then I signed with KW as a buyer's agent, actually on a team for Keller Williams Brevard.
Okay. You said you were willing to take that risk. Why?
Actually, everywhere else I was in sales, there was a cap. I never could, I could sell as much, but I never could, I never really could get past a certain dollar figure I could actually make. And I also worked for people that I really didn't enjoy working for. And that was probably the biggest thing for me. Now it's, I like to work when people work with me. They work with me. They don't work for me. I know what it's like in the corporate world as well. And so when real estate, it's such a freedom business. If you want to make it, like it's really structured. You have to be structured to get done because you're your motivator. You have to do it. But it also gives you a lot of freedom. And I want the people that work with me to have that, luxury as well, to be able to take a Monday or a Tuesday off and go spend time with your family or do whatever you need to do because you've done really well and you've worked really hard.
Love it. It's definitely, I think, resonates with everybody. It's probably one of the top things I get in the business for. You always hear money, but you also hear flexibility in the schedule.
Absolutely.
So, understand that. All right. So what eventually brought you to Keller Williams?
So I was with KW Brevard. I was there for over 2 years, and I decided to go out on my own. I was kind of over being just a complete buyer's agent. I couldn't list at all. I really wanted to kind of bring it all around, you know what I mean? And kind of be a true agent and do everything. So I wasn't really had that capability. So when that happened, I was like, you know what, it's time to go on my own. I'm going to try it and see what happens. I knew I could always go back if I didn't make it. So then I did. And then just leaving the team wasn't always the best, situation in that brokerage. So at that point, I met another guy I knew, and I went actually to a really small startup brokerage and tried to pretty much build a brokerage, partnered in on it at a really, really small one and just brand new. So we ended up getting like 12 agents at the time when I was over there. So I learned a little bit about the recruiting side, how to bring people over, but I was really struggling on building my team. And I think the biggest thing for that was I didn't have a name behind me. It was hard to get people to a smaller brokerage. And then once Keller Williams Space Coast, and once I met Howard, it was like, this is where I have to be. Like, I have to come over here. And as soon as I decided to make that move, I ended up bringing 2 agents, or one agent that's a great agent of mine, with me immediately. And that's what really kind of took off my team and growing the leverage and having people, going with me. But yeah, leaving the smaller brokerage to come back to KW was probably one of the best decisions I made.
You said you met Howard and that pretty much almost sealed the deal for you, but why is that? I mean, I've known Howard for a very long time, so I understand that, but why would you say that?
He just has always been there. It doesn't matter if I call him or text him. It could be at midnight. I've texted him before. I don't recommend doing that, but he's just always been there, and he's always helped me to try to grow my business in any way possible. It could be from, he's offered me the coaching, because if you sell a certain amount of deals, you get some free coaching. And now I actually pay for my coaching. I would have probably never paid for coaching without that opportunity. Things like that he's just brought on, that's helped me think outside the box and not only grow as a business person, but also as, a dad, a family man, and also a friend to like the people that work with me, and how to be more of a boss, but also, make everybody enjoy it and have a good lifestyle too.
All right. Thanks for sharing. So
Absolutely.
you have a team now then, correct?
Yes.
All right. So what does your team structure look like?
So it's definitely not the ordinary team structure as most, but we have 2 agents, and I let my agents do both. I let them list if they have listings, and I let them have buyers as well too. So I was on the side where I couldn't do those things, and I just felt like I want my team here for the long term. And if it, costs a couple bucks for a deal here and there, it's really not worth it 5 years, 10 years down the road, if they're still going to be there with me. So that was a big thing. And then we actually have the back end. So we do everything through a transaction coordinator as well. We've had inside sales agents. We've had admins. We've really not had them last as long as we've wanted to. That's due to maybe lack of communications on my end. But, that's something that we're still trying to grow. We're still trying to figure those things out, for even, we are doing pretty well, but there's just so much more growth that is possible once we really start leveraging it out.
I'm hearing it's important to you to keep them around, and I'm assuming that's coming from a pain point. What's that pain point?
For me, is just kind of where I was in the past. I mean, the people I worked for before were great. I mean, I learned a ton from them, and there's nothing with that. It was just at the time, that was mainly the model when you came in, like that just was the structure. And I just knew, and I just saw a revolving door, all the time, and I see that actually a lot in a lot of people's business. And I have a lot of friends in Orlando and here that run their teams and stuff. And there's always like a revolving door. And for me, that was something I really don't want to have. I'm very, very slow to hire whoever, I really kind of have to know them and feel like it's a comfortable fit for not only them, but for me as well too. And that this is something, is going to last in the long term and have them be around, which is very important.
Taking the CV process then?
Trying to.
Yeah, I know we have Mark's going to be teaching that really soon. So what you just said is very synonymous with that CV process. Hire slowly, fire quickly.
Yeah.
It's a very good class to teach. When is that going to be taking place, Ariel?
Mark is teaching the career visioning on October 27th, and it's going to be in Fort Myers.
Nice. So if anybody's interested in that flyer, I'm sure Ariel could get it out to us all. It's a great class. But I brought that up because I hear what you're saying. Hiring is not fun. I have to do the same thing myself. It's something I don't like. It's like my least favorite thing to do, but yeah, I'm always doing it. It seems like I'm always looking for that next person to hire. See if I can replace myself at some point.
Absolutely.
What is your guys' business looking like today? So you came in, and how much were you doing when you first came in? Do you remember?
I think I did 4.5 million before I came over.
Okay.
And I was usually around that 4 to 5 million for the last, like my 3rd and 4th year. And then this year is when I actually added some members. Now, I did have some, making some money off other people that never showed up in my numbers on the other stuff. But yeah, this year we're probably going to do 14, 15 once it's all said and done. So we usually try to run with we're usually consistent on 8 pending at a time. I know in July we had a really good month. We ended up doing 17. And then August we'll probably end up 12, I believe. So we've done, a really good job of staying working, but also building leverage throughout. So with my team, I really focus on, like when you're burned out, that's like the biggest thing I notice. And I've burned out probably 6 times, like burned out for sure, where I needed time off, because every time I feel like I take a vacation, my business, I sell a house or 2 houses or something like that. And it's great when you come back, but when you're there, it's like, man, I really would like to just, not be on my phone the whole time. But that's just part of it. But we've really tried to structure that now. Whereas if my team members want to take a break, go take a break, like I'll be here. We have other people to help. We have other people, even in the brokerage, not part of the team, that can come in and just kind of substitute for a week or 2 weeks, just so leads aren't missed, things aren't missed, and we can just kind of still keep functioning and moving forward, but also making sure when they come back, they're energized and they're ready to work again. And they want to do it and they want to be here, which is a big part of it for us.
Or you could just go on vacations all the time.
I know I sell more houses probably. So
I was trying to pull your numbers up right here. I was looking at them, and I know it was saying you were doing around 13, 14 transactions a year before. And now I'm looking at it and it's showing closed sales for this year. You're looking, you had a really great month you had almost 2 million last month.
Mm-hmm.
So you did really great. You're on track. Total right now, you're 6.6 million, and you were at back in 2017. The whole year you're at 1.8 million. So you've grown that quite a bit, sir. You've done a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So how have you done that?
Well, really adding on, adding some members, some agents has helped out, because I've always had enough leads, but there for a while I was not really calling them, or I was busy enough for me. And I just was like, I have to do something with this, or I'm spending this money that doesn't need to be spent. So, we've done, majority of our business, believe it or not, still in this crazy market is buyers. I started as a buyer's agent, so I learned that process so well, and I just really got really good at it. And we can spend time on like when we spend time with a buyer, everybody's like, it's so daunting going here and there. But the best thing about this market right now is you only have a few houses to show them. There's really not much options. So you better learn how to write the offer the best you can. And that has been one of our biggest successes. Even Tammy on my team, she gets compliments like, man, that was a really good offer that was written. And it's nice because those are things that we talk about. Like if there's 14 or 4 other people that's bidding on this house, you have to be different. You have to do something. Are you paying for the appraisal? How high are you going? Can you bring an inspector with you sometimes and just say, hey, we're not even going to do an inspection. Those are the things that we're doing. I put an offer in just on vacation this weekend. The house was coming soon, so it wasn't even available yet. We put an offer in, they put it live. They accepted ours in like 2 hours. And our first showing, we actually brought the inspector with us. So those little things, we've tried to just beat everybody else to it, and to try to find them that way is really helped for us to win more of these crazy bids and everything that's going on. Don't get me wrong, we've lost probably like 16 this year as well too. But those things are, you're going to win some and lose some in this market. But that was definitely a big help. Being able to just separate yourself and making sure the buyers your client understands that too. And that's a conversation we have with them up front. Like as soon as we meet them, like it's very difficult right now. I'm sure you're keeping up with it. So these are some things that we might have to do when the right house comes to make sure that you win.
I like that. So you're setting expectations up front.
Absolutely. We have to. I mean, that's the first phone call. It could be a cold lead that's coming in. Like that's the first thing I say to them, because one, I've tried the route where it's like, I'm really friendly with them and like, hey, I'll do anything for you and whatever. And I've learned that I've kind of gotten taken advantage of in those types of situations. And now it's strictly just, it's business, but it's the truth. It's like, this is what our market is right now. And either we're going to be able to do that and you're going to work with me, or we're probably not going to work together, because I just can't run around all day and we're just going to go 10 grand below. Like I haven't sold a house, I don't think, this whole year under list price. So it's just making sure they're aware.
You said that you have the inspector go with you at home. To go see the home. How hard has that been for you to schedule? I know they're pretty busy themselves.
They are. I've actually been really blessed. Past clients, they moved here and my inspector that I've always worked with hired them. So like he's growing his team as well. So it's like, not only have I grown, like the people I've connected with have grown. And they pretty much will try to drop anything for us. I mean, we try to give them also, 8 deals a month, which is pretty helpful. So they make a little bit on us and they try to, if it's a day, the next day or something, they always usually can make it out there if we plan it in time. So, and I would say that's a big part of it, making sure your group, like it's not just your team, you have your inspectors. Like I partner with my lender as well too. Like that's a big part of it. Like he helps with some leads that come in, follow up. He's got a whole team following up on leads. So I have a whole drip system following up on leads. We just make sure we don't miss them. We try to contact them the most that we can. And if it's coming from one of us, it's actually coming from 2 or 3 of us. Usually these people that sell leads anyway, they give leads out to anybody. They go anywhere. So if 3 of my people are doing it and only 2 other people, there's a really good chance that we're going to be able to win that lead and win that client over. Those are the things. And also speed to lead. It's always very important too.
Well, Marilyn here in the chat saying that you took care of her referral really well. So she appreciated that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We love referrals. So
Jordan, what would you say is your unique value proposition for your team?
I don't know. We're a little different. We want to help people, but also I want to make sure the people that work with us, have a really good life too. And that's the biggest thing. Family's been very important to me, just from even my parents, my brothers, my sisters, like we're all very, very close. We've always been there for each other. And I look at that as well and try to provide that, work's something that we do to provide for our families, and to live a lifestyle, like was it Gary say, it's built life by design, or, you only make as much money as you want to live your life. And those are the things that we talk about. So even with the girls on my team, it's okay, how much money do you need to make that makes you comfortable? Okay, well, this is how many houses you got to sell. This is probably how many people you have to talk to. This is probably exactly what you have to do to make this much money. Now, if you want to make more, those numbers go up, which how much time do you have? You're going to lose a little bit of time, maybe spending time with your granddaughter, your grandsons, whatever it is. But that's probably the biggest thing for us and what's the most important.
So basically your value statement is your people, taking care of your people.
100%.
Right. What would you say, who are the people that have helped you along the way? You've mentioned you've got a brother and he's a mortgage broker, right? So that helped you a little bit. We've brought up Howard. Has anybody else helped you along the way?
Absolutely. Katie Lechner, I know a lot of people know her throughout the industry. So she's really helped me. I still call her to this day and she will take my call and talk to me. And even if it's something silly, she'll take it and we'll still catch up. We'll sit down maybe, and just, see what's going on and talk about the market. Another guy named Michael Hughes, who's still around. He's helped me out tremendously. He's been a huge, huge help. I've just been able to call them whenever I truly need something, or I really have a concern or question, like a deal's going funny. They always just have an answer, and they're always still willing to help me. They were the one who's got me into the business. Michael actually did. He got me in the business. So I just have a lot of respect for everything that we've all been through and where we've all grown in this business. That's just the KW culture though. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what it is. And that's the best part about it. Being able to go through all these things that we've been through and still be there for people is honestly the best thing about it.
So when we get into this business and we start learning, there's a lot of bad habits we can learn, but there's a lot of great habits we can learn along the way as well. So what are some of the great habits that you've learned along the way that have helped excel your business?
One, doing something every day. Every single day. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do something all day, but just something. I mean, just try to talk to one person. You know what I mean? If you can talk to one person every single day, that's 365 people that you've talked about. If you can close at a 5% ratio, you make a living, you make an honest living. But that would be it. Like even the days you know, answer the call sometimes or call back or shoot them a text saying, hey, I'll call you right back. You know, just doing the little things. And then if you need your time, take your time. But, you know, even if it's 10 minutes in a day, it's better than nothing. I think it was John Maxwell. I was at one of the KW events. That was the biggest thing about his success that he said was, you don't have to do it all day. Just do something every single day. It's just going to keep going and keep going. So that would probably be the biggest habit that I have, no matter what. Every day I still have to do something to look at it, an email, respond, something, at least. And mainly my focus is lead generation. So I might not respond. I'll have my back end and, you know, my TCs and everybody handle the deal that's going on. But mine's more of like, hey, somebody's reaching out, had a question about this house. I'll follow up on that and I'll take, you know, those are the stuff that I'm kind of focused on all the time. If I miss something like, hey, we got to get this repair done, you know, I might miss that for a couple hours or a day. I'll get it the next day as long as we're still in, you know, contract periods. But the lead stuff, that's always my number one priority and our team's focus.
Right, so you said lead generation is your focus. So what type of lead generation do you focus on?
Well, it's changed. So when I first started, I did everything. I door knocked. I've got listings from door knocking. I've done all those things. I've cold called for sale by owners, expired. I've done inbound internet leads, just a list of leads, you know, foreclosure leads, cash valuation leads, you name it. I've just called and called and called. Mojo, the dialer, get on there. I've done all those things. And I did that in the beginning. And that's where most of my, I think, success has came from now is I did those things and I've built like all the sales and all the past clients and all the contacts I make. Like I'll get a message from people that I talked to a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and they're like, hey, we're ready. And it's because I did it so long, like it's just still going. But now my main focus, our team runs a lot of internet leads and from both buyers and sellers, but then also right now for me, it's sphere of influence and past clients. We send a mailer out every 2 months, every 3 months. And we separate it. So we do something where it's about business and it's about real estate. And then we do something where it's actually about the family. How can we help you? I know COVID's going on. There's a lot of things going on. We try to benefit. My wife's a recruiter. Do you need help with your resumes? Did you lose your job during this time? We know a lot of people in this community. What can we do to help you? And those are the things where every time I send a letter out, it's like, boom, 4 referrals, like just like that. And that's been where I focus most of my time on now, or I need to get better at it, even better now, but that's where I'm spending a lot of my time.
So win-win there between you
Yeah,
and
it's
your
a lot
wife.
easier.
Yeah, like a
So,
win-win.
for sure.
All right. So besides the habits, are any books that you currently recommend that you've been reading?
So I've always liked, you know, everybody probably says this, but Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's just a good book to learn, and it's good about real estate too. So that's always been one that I like. Everybody has their opportunity, and especially in this business, you can make it what you want it to be. I think about those things all the time if something would happen, but that's always a really good book. And, you know, cliche, but the one thing, actually yesterday, my wife, so she's off of, or she's healthy now. She can like work out and do some stuff after having a baby. So we saw on the one thing where it takes 66 days to create a habit. So no matter what it is, it takes 66 days. If you do something every single day, you're going to start doing it over and over again. So she's never been a big fan of working out. So I honestly, my business always gets better. The more I stay in shape, the more I eat well and do things like that. I just feel like my business has always grown during those times. So we just started a 66-day challenge. So we got 65 more days to go, but we're going to try it and see what we can do to try to work out every single day and just see what that brings. And if we can get into that habit, and the main thing is to keep this long-term and see if we can still keep that healthy lifestyle. And the biggest driver behind that is having, you know, a 1-month-old and a 2.5-year-old that pretty much takes a lot of energy out of you.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you need me to call you in about 30 days to check on you?
Check on me. I need it. I need everybody to, because I don't know.
All
We'll
right.
see.
Well, let's see. We've got one of my favorite questions that is just tells me a lot is how do you stay motivated? I mean, what keeps you motivated? I already heard your people is a big thing to you. So what keeps you motivated? What's your why?
That's always a question I feel like sometimes changes. My why, it's there for a while. I was so burned out in real estate, I'll be honest with you, where it was like, I don't know, is there something else or whatever? So I was tired of running around every weekend. I was tired of running around every night. I was like, I got to figure something out on why I'm doing this. I guess, my why is always my family. So that's always, of course, but I started realizing how much I really did love real estate once I really started like kind of thought I didn't. There's nothing else I can do right now. One, to make we make pretty good money when you sell a house. It's a pretty nice commission check. So it's like there's nothing else. And then also the smile on like some of these clients that thought they could never even get a house or they never could do it, or they're like, I have no idea what I'm even doing. To help them and to see them actually achieve a pretty big milestone in their life. That's actually what brought me back to it, actually helping these people. Now, you're always going to have some clients that you kind of wish you didn't have, but there's the ones that you just really, really click with, and they're just always there, and they're just good people. And it's like, man, you could be my friend, and have that relationship with them. So for me, that's what brought me back into it, and actually really why I love real estate, and I just can't leave it.
All right. So this is Take Command of 2022. So what is something in your business that you would love to improve?
Well, my listings, I feel like everybody talks about that, but yeah, I have to get my listing set up, getting a little bit more aggressive into that side of it. Also growing and getting like either some type of inside sales role or some type of admin to handle that database, and making sure we're following up on the people that are coming in the database and making sure we're inputting them in the database. Because if you meet 5 people or 10 people at an open house, okay, yeah, they sign in and do all these things, but where is the follow-up? What are you doing with them? How do we do it? So those are the things that I'm working on that try to even just make it easier. And also to follow up, like there's so many times we talk to so many people and we don't realize it's an opportunity, and it was an opportunity. And we miss it. So those are the things that I have to improve on and get them in there. Maybe get them on my text drip, an email drip, something, just to get touching them. Even if we can't follow up, but having somebody always looking at that database and getting it rolling and just staying true to it is probably our biggest weakness.
What are you doing Thursday?
Nothing right now. Working, but nothing.
You want to come hang out with me for a little bit, and I'll help you with some of that?
I do. I would love to.
Right,
I've been wanting to.
I'll be there Thursday, so if you want to come by the office, I'll be over there and I'll hang.
Oh, you're coming to Coke? Where are you coming?
Yeah, I'll be in Cocoa on Thursday.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely. I'll be there.
So, going back to your goals here. So what are your current goals for the end of this year? What number do you want to hit?
So I believe it or not, I do my goals on my bank account, like how much money's in my account. So that's always what I like to do. Like if I sell a certain amount of houses, yes, but if I sell, I've always we shot for, we wanted to sell 65 this year. Between us, the 3 of us, we'll be close. I don't know if we'll hit it, but I always shoot my goals like every 4 months or every quarter, or every 3 months. It's like, I want an extra 50,000 saved. And that's kind of how I've always done it. And it works for me. It might not work for everybody. But for me, it's just, that's where my growth is, because it's, what we use. It's what I needed to live my life. And that's what I focus on, is how, and a lot of things, like we've done a flip this year. We've done, there's been a couple of deals where it's just been, investors have came in and bought. So there's some of those things that happen that we just run through the brokerage, but then like the flip side of it. So those are some of the things where it's like, if that opportunity arises, I know I'm going to maybe hurt a little bit on my home sales. So I just am always looking for those opportunities. And that actually brings me to a point that I wanted to bring up where Gary and everybody was talking about. I think it was either Mega Camp or what was just going on about how everybody's starting to come in and look at realtors commissions. So you got Loan Depot hiring realtors and all these people like Keller, all these offers, OfferPad, everybody's kind of digging in. I think that's something where on our end, we have so much opportunity as a realtor, but we seem to always give it away sometimes too. So like every investment ever, probably 90% of them have went and touched a realtor's hands. You know what I mean? Like any flip house, a really good rental opportunity, any of those deals have probably went through a realtor at some point. And just making sure when those things come up, maybe buy it or do something. And just people are coming after us. It's time for us to stand our ground and do what we have to do. And people don't realize exactly what we do all the time, and there is a lot of it. So.
Absolutely. Gary said that at family reunion last year, that every time you go to a property, you should be thinking of that as an investment opportunity for yourself first. So is that how your flip opportunity came about? Did you see it a listing opportunity and turn it into a flip opportunity for yourself?
Yeah, it was just a bad situation. He didn't have enough money. His water was off, the power was off, the renters destroyed the place. The power meter was completely gone. It was just bad. And he was a younger guy and he needed the money. And I was like, this is what we could sell for with me. And this is what you could sell it to me for. And I was like, you can have this money in 10 days. And he was like, okay, that sounds good with me. So that's what I happened. And that was the opportunity that arose. And, I still see those things and sometimes I pass on them, but sometimes, I've built people and other investors now that just want to buy them, so then you just come in there and sell it and move on. So those are some things.
How did flip go?
It was good. It was good. Bought it for 60 and sold it for 170.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
You have fun doing it?
Huh?
You have fun doing it?
I did. I got a little stressed and burned out on everything at the end because it's, you really got to be careful on doing those as well. I think a lot of people think it's just something great and you make a ton of money all the time, which you really got to see how much you're really going to make. Because if you're going to take 3 months of your time and invest it into something like that, or 4 months, and you're not making over 15 to 20,000 a month, you can make more money selling houses. So you really got to see and make sure it's the right opportunity. Are you going to flip it? Are you going to hold it? What are you going to do with it? And really think about the numbers. It's like, yeah, I can make 30,000 off this flip, but I might not get that money for 6 months. Or I can go make 100 cold calls this morning and just get 2 listing appointments and possibly make $25,000. So you really got to see and make sure it all makes sense.
Well, I'm proud of you for taking that opportunity because a lot of people are very scared to do something like that.
That was my first time. Like I've partnered with other people, but that was the first time I did it with my money and everything. So it was definitely an experience and it was worth it. I'm glad I took the risk because if you don't take the opportunities, nothing's going to happen.
All right, so I'm going to open it up to questions here now. What I want to do though is ask you: would you be willing, and are you okay with coming back and visiting with us again in December? We're going to be doing Tech the Halls, and I'd love to have you on with an agent panel there with a bunch of our top agents that have presented in the past. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. I'll give the information on it later. But anybody have any questions for Jordan before we end the first session? We're going to take a quick break here in a little bit, and then we'll be coming back and talking to our first presenter, who is going to be teaching about what we would call building a strong relationship with our data bank. And one of our newer MCTTs, Mateo, is going to be teaching that. So stay tuned for that. That starts at 10 o'clock. But right now we got the open floor for Jordan. And if anybody wants to go ahead and ask him a question, the floor is yours. Please raise your hand and we'll make sure we spotlight you.
Jordan, it's Marilyn.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for taking care of my client, Ray and Jacqueline. Question, when you send those nice videos with who you are, like where do you create, is that a campaign? Like where do you create that to command?
So you can. I've just had it all set up before I came back over, and it's been hard for me to just switch it back.
Okay.
But I do. So my videos, actually, I have to text personally because my system doesn't do it. And that's probably something Ryan could probably help out with more than I could. But we do all the drips and all of the automatic text messaging mainly. But some days when I'm like, this is what I tell a lot of my agents too, say you don't feel like picking the phone up and cold calling. I hate to say it, but some days I just don't feel like it. I will take a video of myself just with my phone and say, hey, thank you so much. I saw you're looking on my website or wherever you found them. The real estate market's changing. We actually do have a little bit more inventory than we had before, and rates are still very, very low. So if you're still interested, we are more than happy to help you. Give us a call, and I'll just make a 15-second video and I will go through my database and just who's looking, who's the most recent, and I will just send that video directly to them and just try to get like 100 people out there because one's going to answer. We've probably sold 7 houses this year just from doing that. Just following up with the video, because right now also our iPhones are doing a really good job of like potential spam and cutting people off on who's calling and stuff, and people aren't answering. So you leave them a voicemail. Do they listen? Maybe. But that video, and they see who you are, they see you're a person, and that stuff really has helped for us. So I would say if you're having trouble on the phones and you're not getting anywhere with people, try it. At least get that video out, make it short and sweet, and do what you have to do to, touch as many people as possible.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good one. Anybody else have any questions? Frank, you want to ask Jordan a question? He's like, no.
No, Jordan's done an amazing job here at Cocoa Beach. We're just just thrilled to have him on our team. He's a tremendous asset. He shares his information with everybody. I've watched his strengths. He speaks deliberately, and he's very genuine. And people see that in him, and that's a true blessing.
Thank you, Frank.
I agree 100%. It's one of the things I like talking about with Jordan. He's a very genuine person, and I think that shows to his clients.
Thank you, guys.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, Jordan, I really appreciate your time here today, and I look forward to having you on Tech the Hall. It's going to be a fun event. Again, we're doing that in December, around December, I think it's 7th or 8th or something like that. It's going to be an all-day event, and it's going to be open for everybody to come to, and we're going to have some of the best in the industry coming. Last year, we had an amazing event there where we had Zach Younger, and we had John Morris come on. We had some of the great teachers in our industry coming on and teaching, and we're going to have a lot of the same people coming back, but we're going to have more events, and we're going to make it bigger this year. So be looking forward to that. Once we have that release, we'll have it on the website. Still building that part out, and you'll be able to do everything right from our website. All right. So again, we are going to be taking a quick break here so everybody can go get a bite to eat, grab a drink, or go to the bathroom, do what you need. We'll play a little bit of music. We will be coming back at 10 o'clock, and Mateo is going to kick it off talking about building strong relationships through your database. So you guys, just so you know, today is going to be going all the way to 4 o'clock. We're going to have a 1-hour lunch break. That's going to start at 12 o'clock and go to 1 o'clock. Again, all your MCTDs are in the chat. So if you guys have any questions on command, feel free to put those questions in there, and they will be happy to help. And I will see you in each and every one of these events today. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan.
Aaron, you had a question?
Yes, I did. Sorry, I'm out driving. I just wanted to ask a quick question. How long did it take you to start becoming successful in this venture?
In real estate?
Yes, sir.
So my first year I sold, I think 13 houses maybe, and I didn't cap. So I didn't cap. I did win rookie of the year, but I didn't cap. I didn't pay my royalty. So I remember not getting that. And I was like, man, I definitely want that. So, but it took me probably my third, I was making money. I wasn't losing money, but I would say my third year is when it really started to click for me, where I felt confident on answering when clients would ask me questions. I felt very confident in answering it. And that was just from the 2 years of putting the 10-hour days in, putting the time and talking to everybody, like all the really good agents about any question or any deal that was going on, and just learning how to work the deals. But yeah, I'd say my 3rd year is when it really started to make sense for me. And I started making, better money.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that. I appreciate it.
No worries.
All right, we're going to go ahead and play some music, and we'll come back from break shortly.